now, once again, Raymond Arroyo.
Welcome back to the World Over. He is the Pope who has kept the Catholic world in a state of perplexity for the last 4.5 years. Tonight I speak with the Holy Father, Pope Francis, about the Amoris Laetitia controversy, his many mystifying actions and statements, and a special update on Pope Benedict XVI. Here's part 1 of my exclusive interview with Pope Francis, recorded at Casa Santa Marta, the luxurious Vatican hotel this humble Pope of simplicity calls home. Your Holiness, it is an honor to speak with you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Of course. I am a humble man of the peoples, and it is very, very important to me to spend time with the little peoples like you. Let's jump right in. Your 2016 apostolic exhortation, Amoris Laetitia, has been the subject of a great deal of controversy, prompting several bishops to throw out the 2,000-year-old teaching of the Catholic Church and allow unrepentant divorced and remarried persons to receive Holy Communion. Are these bishops doing what you intended? I was told there would be no questions about Amoris Laetitia. Holy Father, there must have been some misunderstanding. That was my one precondition, and you have defied me, you little pharisaical nitwit. I should have known better than to trust someone named Raymond. Please, Holy Father, have mercy. Mercy? Mercy? It was not what I wanted! So, Raymond, as I was saying, please, no questions about Amoris Laetitia. The document is perfectly clear and orthodox, with no further explanation needed. Capiche? Yes, Your Holiness. Excellent. May I ask a question about another one of your writings? Your papal encyclical, Laudato Si. Well, of course. Please go ahead. This encyclical was released in 2015 to the almost universal acclaim and fanfare of the secular world. I know. As an aside, that kind of rock star-like adoration from the world has been a hallmark of your pontificate. You've appeared on the cover of Rolling Stone, Esquire, The New Yorker, Vanity Fair, Fortune, Newsweek, Life, New Republic, Time, multiple times. Yes, I know. And the LGBT magazine, The Advocate. Who am I to judge? Well, supposedly, you're the Vicar of Jesus Christ, successor of the Prince of Apostles, Supreme Pontiff of the Universal Church. But back to Laudato Si. Despite the positively ebullient praise of the hard left and secular elites, many in the Catholic world were perplexed about the document's heavy emphasis on this new concept of ecological conversion, contrasted with the almost complete absence of any call for a conversion to Jesus Christ. What's your response? Well, I'm not going to proselytize. Trying to convert others to Christianity is foolish and a great sin. But what about the tremendous moral decline that we see all around us in the world? Why ignore that moral decline and instead devote the nearly 200 pages of this encyclical to, essentially environmental nagging? Oh, Raymond, sins against Mother Earth and Brother Moon, sins against the sky, the sun, the rocks, the dirt, sins against the eagle eggs perched on craggy cliffs. These are the most serious moral failings imaginable. Really? It's quite remarkable that no other pope in the 2,000-year history of the Church has realized that. I know, right? Let's discuss a few of your actions and statements that have caused much consternation among the faithful. You mean among the rigid, pharisaical, self-absorbed, Promethean, pickle-pepper-faced, neo-Pelagian, sourpuss, creed-reciting parrot Christians? You know, in generations gone by, these people would have simply been called believing Catholics. Rosary-counting, whiny, poop-obsessed, Gnostic, liquid, mummified, pastry shop Christians? I could go on. Maybe another time. Repeatedly throughout your pontificate, you have called into question whether Jesus is feeding the 5,000, the miracle of the loaves and fishes, constitutes a true miracle. Well, the problem is that so many people mistakenly think that a miracle is some big, impressive manifestation of God's supernatural power. It's not? Oh, no. You see, our God is a God of surprises. And one of the biggest surprises is that his miracles aren't that surprising or powerful. God's miracles consist in simple acts of accompaniment, of welcoming those on the peripheries. In the case of the miracle of the loaves and fishes, the miracle was that the people learned how to share. Okay. You've spoken out on many occasions against sharing the faith and trying to win converts to the Catholic Church. Isn't this antithetical to the Great Commission that Jesus gave us, in which he said, "Go therefore, teach ye all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost"? Look, Jesus didn't always mean what he said. God is not a mean guy. He's a very, very nice guy. God would never send anyone to hell. And regardless of whether he is a Christian, the important thing is to be sincere and enter into a dialogue of welcoming and accompaniment and aggiornamento and mercy. But never, ever, ever try to share your faith with other people. Speaking of mercy, let's discuss your controversial application of mercy to the notorious child molester Father Mauro Enzoli. This flamboyant Italian priest was defrocked by Pope Benedict in 2012 for abusing little boys in the confessional. Yet when you became pope, you reinstated him to the priesthood and even withheld evidence from the Italian authorities during their criminal investigation into his atrocities. But I eventually defrocked him again. With all due respect, Your Holiness, only after the courts sentenced Father Enzoli to prison did you reverse course and re-expel him from the priesthood. And this is by no means the only case in which you have dispensed inordinate mercy to predator priests. Shouldn't the Pope be more concerned with protecting children from abusers than with dispensing mercy to the abusers themselves? Well, Raymond, you see, I only intervened in cases where the predator priests were my friends, or friends of my friends. I mean, abuse of children is bad, but when the abuser is a friend of Francis, that has to count for something. Let's discuss your friends. Monsignor Battista Ricca, your hand-picked head of the papal household, whom you also appointed as a supervisor at the Vatican Bank, has a long history of sordid public homosexual affairs. Again, who am I to judge? Another one of your closest advisors, Cardinal Gottfried Daniels, who has bragged about engineering your election as Pope, was caught on tape in 2010 instructing a victim of child abuse to keep silent and instead blame himself for the abuse. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Additionally, you have given a privileged Vatican platform to champions of the culture of death, People like Paul Ehrlich, who is one of the world's foremost advocates of brutal measures like forced abortions and mass sterilizations.
Catholics need to learn not to breed like rabbits.
Yeah, I remember your saying that before. Perhaps that explains why, late last year, you dismissed all 172 members of the Pontifical Academy for Life, appointed a pornographer as the new Academy president, and then started backfilling the Academy with pro-abortion and pro-contraception members. Your Holiness, it seems to many that you are actively waging war against truth itself.
Well, I would not speak about absolute truths, even for Christians.
I'm afraid that says it all. But before we go, a special treat for our viewers. As you know, for the last 4 years, there's been more than one man wearing white at the Vatican. Yet, since the 2013 announcement of his resignation from the chair of Peter, we've heard very little from Pope Benedict XVI. I asked Francis for an update on Benedict, and you may be surprised about what this 90-year-old has been up to. One last question, Your Holiness. Can you give us any news or updates on Pope Benedict?
Yes, of course. I think Benedict imagined that he would lead a slower pace of life after retiring, but trust me, we have managed to keep him busy with duties. In fact, here, let me show you one of the most useful duties we have devised for him. Look out that window behind you. With each step he takes, he is producing green energy for the Vatican. It's fantastic. Pick up the pace, Ratzinger!
Your Holiness, thank you again.
Oh, you're welcome.